buying anything for herself that was not second-hand. The first new coat I ever saw her wear was one I bought her when she was 56 years old. My arrival brought about a move from my parents' one-room to a two-room flat in Irwin Street in Camberwell. Number 14 was a tall Victorian terraced house, which had seen better days and was now converted into small flats. Our flat was at the top, 3 long flights of stairs up from the ground floor, and 5 flights from the garden, where the only toilet for 5 families was situated. The location of this toilet was to take on major significance, as my weak legs meant that 5 flights of stairs were a tremendous obstacle for me. But as I grew and ran up and down these stairs, my rickets eventually faded away, and I developed very strong muscles, plus a facility to control my bowels, which has come in handy many times since when filming in exotic locations. When I was about 2.5 years old, my mother disappeared, and I was sent to stay with my Aunt Lil. When my mother came back, I had a new baby brother called Stanley Victor, who had been, I was told, found under a gooseberry bush. This sounded perfectly reasonable to me, and I accepted it and my new brother immediately, although I was a bit put out when my bed was shoved into the corner of the bedroom and he was placed closer to my mother. At the age of about 4, I began school at the John Ruskin Infant School in John Ruskin Street. I was a very pretty little boy with blonde curly hair and big blue eyes, and my teacher mistakenly christened me Bubbles, which had the obvious effect on the other boys. After 2 or 3 days as a walking punch bag, I informed my mother that I was not going to be going to school again, and she very quickly realized what was going on. One morning she paid an uninvited visit to the school during our play break and asked me to point out the boys who had hit me. This I did, and much to my surprise, she beat the shit out of all of them. I always knew she was tough, but that surprised me. My father, on the other hand, took the view that if anybody hit me, I should hit back, even if it meant getting pounded. There is no shame in losing a fight, he told me. There is only shame in being a coward and refusing to fight. When I told him that I did not know how to fight, he said with a twinkle in his eye, "I know, and I'm going to teach you how." With that, he got down on his knees in front of me, put his fists up and said, "Hit me." And after a bit of persuasion, I did. Pretty soon I had no more trouble at school and was renamed by common consent Snake Eyes, which was a source of great pride to me. I once asked my father what I should do if someone picked on me who I couldn't beat in a fight. "Easy," he said. "You bide your time, wait until he's not expecting anything, and then you get a bottle and smash him over the fucking head with it." It's very important, he went on, that you never let anybody get away with an attack on you, or you will become a target instead of a man. And although I hate violence of any kind, I have never forgotten this. When I was nearing 6 years old, the atmosphere in our flat began to change. My mother and father and friends and relations who came to visit us were somehow not as cheerful as usual, and sometimes they were downright miserable, especially when they listened to the wireless. It was 1939. When the Germans began the Blitz in earnest, men came to build an air raid shelter in the garden of our flats. This consisted of a 6-foot deep hole dug in the ground and covered with sheets of thick corrugated iron, which were in turn covered with a couple of feet of earth. They wouldn't save anyone from a direct hit, but they were protection from shrapnel and incendiary bombs. Despite the bombing, we went to a school for children who had not been sent away from London. A strange phenomenon developed when Hitler started the daylight raids. The teachers told us that if the siren sounded as we were on our way to school and we were closer to school, we should run there. But if we were closer to home, we should run back. So at 9 o'clock every school morning, you would find groups of kids standing on the corner, just out of sight of the school, praying for the siren to go so that they could run back home for a day off. My father was called up to serve in the Royal Artillery, and we left London with my mother to go to Norfolk on the east coast of England. Its main distinction is its flatness, made very famous in Noah Coward's play Private Lives, when the hero asks his ex-wife where her new husband comes from, and she says Norfolk. Noel's reply is just, "Very flat, Norfolk." So there you have it from the master. We were housed in a large, disused farmhouse.